Hi guys, welcome back to my space. Not the website, that's long dead. My workspace. This is not going to be the video that I thought I was going to be putting out because the vent system for the 3D printer has been postponed, at least temporarily. I've got some infrastructure upgrades going to be going on in this area that would directly affect it. So I'm not going to put it in until those are at least far enough along that it will no longer impact the vent. So we're going to go a little different direction today. I did a little project that I'm hoping will help me up the production values on this. It's a little simple thing, but it'll help. However, I'm ashamed to say, or maybe not even ashamed to say, since I am going to say it, that this is like the fourth time I've filmed this video. The first time when I actually produced the item that I'm going to show you, that footage was absolutely not usable. Somehow the settings got messed up on the camera, exposure was way off, it was zoomed way in, nothing was in frame. It was horrid. So I filmed it again, just kind of going over basically what I'm going to do here in a minute, showing what I did do and what the results were. And that one wasn't much better. It was a little better. In fact, I almost put it up as was, but I think I can do better since nothing in that really needs to be reproduced. The part's already made, so I'll just show you that and tell you what I did. And then in the next video, I'm going to be doing at least 300 hour, or by the time that video is made, much less released, I'm probably going to be 350 plus hours on the P2S. And I'll let you know what went right, what went wrong, and we'll go from there. But for now, let me get you over here on the bench and I'll show you the part I made and what it's for and how it's going to help. So let's get to it. Let me show you what I've been using to shoot videos. Now, I use my phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And I've got the Blackmagic camera app, although I did not use that on the first video. I was using just the Samsung camera app. I've since upgraded the app. But I found this print through one of my YouTubers, Functional Print Friday. A few years ago, he printed this and showed it on his channel and gave it high praise. And so I went and found it on printables and I printed it. Actually, I printed several by now. There's one holding the camera right now and another mount, which I'll show later. But this is just put your phone in here, turn it, comes down and clamps. And it's setting in a 1/4-20 thread. You just use a 1/4-20 nut captive in the bottom of the print, and the threads go up in there and lock it in place. And I've got this on a tripod. Me and my wife found it at a yard sale. I don't know, Lord, I don't know how long ago, maybe 10 years ago. And it works great for bench shots. I can set it up on the bench, get it pointed where I want it, and it works great. It's nice and sturdy and it's small. But when these legs extend, and when you do, they get very flimsy. And they've got a lot of flex in them. I don't know if you can see that, it's too close to the camera. And it doesn't get high enough for the shots that I needed to get. So I needed an upgrade as far as at least another means to hold the camera. So let me show you what I got. This is another tripod that we've had sitting in the closet for a few years. My wife's a photographer, and I like to do photography also. And this one was sitting in the closet because she had upgraded from this one to a newer tripod. But somehow in the intervening years, the quick attach shoe went missing. We haven't found it yet. It's probably around somewhere. We just haven't located it yet. But I went on Maker World and I was able to print this, which is kind of what I needed. It had a 3D printed part that would pop in this little socket right here, and it, well, basically, it looked like a 3D printed version of this, which is basically just a bolt with a 1/4 thread on it with a bail that'll fold down so you can grab it and twist. And you twist the threads up into the 1/4 mounting hole on either a camera or, in my case, the phone holder that I printed with that 1/4 nut. Problem with this one started with, number one, it was too big. At first, it would not fit in here. It was too wide on these sides and on the back to engage properly. So, as you can see on this one, so make sure we're in focus here, you can see where I trimmed the sides, just took a knife. I really didn't want to have to reprint it if I didn't have to. If it was going to be salvageable, I was okay with that. So I did that, and then I got some 1/4 heat press inserts, and I went to push one in, and this hole is not a straight cylinder. It actually has a belly in it, so it's wider in the middle. It's almost a spherical shape, and that part that popped in had a spherical shape that made it in it. You push it in until it pops in, and then it just rides in that spherical cutout, and that would allow it to twist, and it would pivot in different directions so you can make a connection with your phone. Well, the edges at the top and bottom were about the right size, barely, but the middle part wasn't. So when I went to press the heat insert in, it basically went right through it. It went so fast through this one that by the time I could stop the soldering iron, it was already 3/4 of the way out the bottom. So I had to go reprint it. So I reprinted this one, and I dropped the hole size a little bit. And I scaled it in X and Y down 98%. And as it printed, it fits perfect in there. But there still wasn't enough meat in there to catch that heat insert. So that was fail number 2. So I went in, let me show you on this one. I went in to Bamboo Studio, and this part right here is 5 millimeters thick. And I used a primitive cylinder, 5 millimeters tall by, I don't even remember, it was larger than the hole. I think it was 10 millimeters. But anyway, I put that in there and filled in that hole completely. Then I took another primitive cylinder, and it was 7.75, and I used it to cut a new hole in the middle, because these inserts are 8 millimeters. They're 8 millimeters wide in circumference, or diameter, not circumference. And what I showed in the other video, the original video that I filmed that did not turn out, was me pushing the heat insert in here and screwing that in. And I had one other problem with the original inserts that I bought. These are 6 millimeters tall. So when I put one of them on this, and let me show you, and grab one of these real quick. And you screw it all the way in. it goes down below the threads, which is what I wanted. But it just barely clears those threads. Plus, the body of this, like I said, was 5 millimeters. And these heat inserts are 6 millimeters tall. So originally I took one of these and mounted it on a 1/4-20 bolt. And in the original setup, I had a 1/4-20 nut on here. I think that one's damaged. It doesn't want to thread on. Grab another one real quick. And I threaded it on. And I left about 1 millimeter proud and jammed that nut up against it. And I took it out to my garage to my bench grinder. And I ground that lip off and pretty much took all that flat off. But that's okay. I still had that tapered area right there. And I used that to press it in. And that one is this one right here. And when you can see on this one, you can see the difference. The threads have 1 millimeter of clearance, so this can move up and down and has enough room to go around. The reason I use the heat insert is so when I put this in here, it would retain it. I know you can, if you want to, you can thread it all the way out. But under normal circumstances, it'll hold it in there and retain that, and it won't go anywhere. But that gives me plenty of thread to grab the bottom of the camera mount and still have wiggle room to line it up. So that actually worked out really well. Now I've since bought some new inserts that are 5 millimeters tall. So if I do this again, I won't have to modify a heat insert. But that fits in the camera just like that. And this is what my camera was on when I was doing the intro. I had it on this tripod. So I printed, like I said, I printed a second one of these. And let me switch mounts and let me show you what else I did here. Okay, what I have here is a mag base with a cheap Noga ripoff or Noga clone of an indicator holder. It has a 3/8 inch hole right there with the way to clamp it down. You just put Titan on it and it'll hold most indicators. Most American-made indicators have a 3/8 inch hole. I think it's 10 millimeter for European style, but they're close enough that it will hold pretty much either one. Ba-doom boom. So now I've got the other holder like I was telling you. It's got the 1/4-20 nut captured in there, and you just clamp your phone in between here. So what I did was I went in and I designed just a little arm. This is a 3/8 inch. I flattened it on one side so it would sit on the printer base. Made a little paddle shape with a hole in it that was sized so I could push one of those heat inserts inside and put me another one of those bolts in there, 1/4-20, and it just threads on. And I just put it in the indicator holder. Tighten that down. Then, and if you've never used one of these indicator holders, these are very nice to have. You just loosen this one knob, and then all the arms loosen up, and you can point it wherever you want to, and you tighten this one arm, and it'll hold position. Now the base, for those who haven't seen it, this is 2 permanent magnets. One is attached to this handle, this knob, and the other is the base itself. And when you put it on a piece of metal with it like this, it will not attract to the metal. See? But if you flip that on, now the magnetic fields are lined up in such a way, and don't ask me what way they are, but it works, so I'm happy with it. Now when you put it up against a piece of metal, it latches, and that's pretty firm. It'll hold pretty good right there. And these are used in machine work all the time. You magnetize it to the body of the machine, and you move your indicator where you need it to, and then you lock it all in position, and you can take measurements. But you turn it off, it releases. Very nice. I've had this out in the garage for a long time because I'm an aspiring machinist. I just don't have any machines yet, other than my CNC plasma table. So that's what I've been working on. And those with good ears will probably realize that there is something else going on in here that I haven't mentioned before. And that's going to be a future video when I reveal the secret addition to the shop. And one of the reasons why the vent project has been moved back. But like I said, that's going to be a different future video. Next video coming up will be the P2S review, whatever hour mark we're at by the time I get around to filming that. So I think we are at, I'm at 314 hours so far on it, and I imagine I'll be closer to 350, at least over 330 by the time I film that video, because I've got some prints coming up that I want to keep working on. So, but until next time, guys, see you around.